Hey, I'm a digital first buyer, and I just wanted to make a video on reasons why I'm upset about physical media going away, which is to say that there are some games that I cannot buy digitally. There is such a thing as physical only releases. They're very rare, and in most cases it's also fairly understandable, but it is kind of sad to think that there every once in a while is a game released that isn't available on digital storefronts, and that's not going to change going into 2028 just because we're removing physical media from the next PlayStation console. So I just wanted to start off by showing off the most recent game to my collection. It's Venus Vacation Prism. This is the latest Dead or Alive Extreme title. I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to remember this franchise back on the Xbox, but yeah, they're still going. Venus Vacation Prism is available on the PlayStation Store and on Steam within Asian countries. Outside of there, tough luck, man. You gotta import this sucker. But you can, because these are, proper releases, Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo. So you go to a site like PlayAsia and you just import the game, and the game's fortunately got full English language support. You can see right there in the subtitle languages, it's right there. As long as you've got a PlayStation 5 console with a disc drive, then you can play this game no problems. But only if you have the physical disc. There is no other way to legally play it, I suppose. And it's just kind of sad to think that this is probably going to be the last Dead or Alive Extreme game that I'll be able to purchase and play. I like this series. I've been playing for a long time, evidenced by this game, Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Fortune. This released exclusively on the PlayStation 4, and guess what? Never left Asian countries. Had to import it from, once again, PlayAsia. I don't know what Koei Tecmo's issue is with the Western market and this series, but they just can't seem to bring themselves to release these games outside of the Asian regions. Shuhei Yoshida, if you're watching my video, please leave a comment and tell me. My good friend Shuhei Yoshida, I know he watches all my videos. The game also released on the Nintendo Switch a year later as Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Scarlet, also never left Asian regions. So that is a whopping 3 Dead or Alive Extreme 3 games that you can only buy physically outside of Asian regions. And, come 2028, that just won't be an option anymore. Hopefully they release the next games on Nintendo consoles, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't because, Nintendo releases either get delayed or just outright skipped nowadays. So time will tell, I suppose. But it's just kind of sad to see an entire franchise that I care about becoming unavailable come the next console generation. Here's another one for you. Boom, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. This guy was a digital release as well, alongside physical, for a year to celebrate Super Mario's 35th anniversary. And then Nintendo said, okay, anniversary over, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Mario. Goodbye. Hope you had fun. And now you can't buy this game anymore. Of course, you can buy it physically secondhand, but on digital storefronts, the Nintendo eShop, this guy is not there. Now, this isn't quite as egregious as the other games, because not only is this just a re-release of games that already saw releases anyways over the years, but through Nintendo Switch Online, you can play Super Mario 64 and Sunshine right now. And since then, Super Mario Galaxy has also had a proper release on the eShop and in physical. But at the time, it certainly was a big deal. Like, a limited time release was kind of unheard of. And this also just, sets the precedent that, hey, sometimes games just go away. They can do that. They can just remove a game from the store. Typically, digital storefronts know better than to do that because it's a dangerous precedent. But Nintendo's already said it. They said it 5 years ago, and they might darn well do it again. We'll see. This is the only way to officially play Super Mario 64 1080p widescreen. It's honestly kind of a cool experience. But yeah, there's another example of a game that, could just represent the concerns of a digital-only future. And I got one last game here I wanted to show off quick. It's Nintendo Labo. This is the Toy-Con 2 specifically. There were 4 of these games released in the Nintendo Labo series. They were games that required a physical aspect to accompany the game because you would buy a cardboard kit and you would construct some kind of machine or multiple machines out of cardboard, and then you'd kind of interact with them with your Switch using the Joy-Cons or whatever, and you'd have this entirely physical component to pair with the game. And so, even the most diehard digital first buyers would tell you, well, there's not really much of a reason to even have this game on the eShop because you would need to buy it physically anyways to get the cardboard, right? But what this does show is that innovation can come from many different areas, and Nintendo famously has innovated in many creative ways, and using the physical medium is something that they are intimately familiar with over the course of all of their console generations, which is why I think it'll be quite a while until Nintendo moves to an all-digital future. But, you know, again, this does demonstrate there is a real tangible aspect to physical games in ways that you might not even think of, and ways that those that really want to innovate can take advantage of. Anyways, that's pretty much all I had to say. I just, you know, even someone like me who typically doesn't buy their games physically first still occasionally has a reason to pick up a physical copy of a game, even sometimes just last minute at a game store or in a bargain bin. I remember that's how I found No Man's Sky. It was $5 at a bargain bin. I remember getting the Heavy Rain and Beyond Souls collection for the PlayStation 4 because it was like $15 at the cash register. I was like, oh shoot, what's that behind you? Throw that on my order. And yeah, it's just kind of sad that these are going away. I've got nothing to say beyond that. We all know it's sad, and I think most of us also recognize, even if we don't want to admit it, that it's not really worth even fighting. It's gonna happen either way. PlayStation's already kind of made up their mind. It doesn't matter if there's a blackout or some kind of revolt online. There would need to be literal legal legislature intervention in order to even slow this down. But I think it's happening either way. It's sad. We're going to be saying goodbye to physical sooner than maybe many of us thought. But, you know, just everyone has been talking about it online, even weeks later after the announcement. I just felt like doing a short little video sharing my thoughts on it. Even if ultimately it doesn't matter, I just want to, I guess, grieve along with everyone else. Feel free to share your grievances in the comments as well, your aversions to the digital future. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.